This weekend on the Austin Healey Channel, we're in Vreeland, Netherlands at the best place in the world, the Healey Museum.
BN2, eh?
Okay.
It's got a special engine.
What's in it?
Everything you can imagine.
Okay, except for seat belts.
No seat belts. That's not period.
I was required to put seat belts in by my wife.
No. You've ever driven a Honda?
No, I haven't. The only Healey I've driven is the BT7 that I just finished.
Okay.
But as soon as I get the BN1 done, I'll be driving it.
Well, don't be disappointed if you do the BN1 because this is a completely different car.
Is amazing. Okay, so what do you have under the hood?
It's a normal standard engine, but with steel crank, steel converts.
Okay.
Special pistons, 160 brake horsepower.
Okay. But still the 4-cylinder.
Still the original engine.
Nice.
Yeah, still the original.
I grew up driving Sprite, 68 Sprite.
Okay.
So it didn't do that.
So until now you like the meeting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Good. You don't regret coming over?
Oh no, absolutely not. Last weekend I went to a British car club in Luxembourg and saw 5 big Healeys.
Okay.
And that was like the most I've ever seen in one day. At least since I started doing this again. And you've definitely topped that today. I feel like a kid in a candy store. Very impressed with the power you get out of that.
Yeah.
Wow. It's all modernized.
Yeah, this is
cool.
the 1 3/4 Asus with the full airbox. I think a modern
modern generator, or alternator. High torque starter.
Yeah, but the rest I think is, well, this is a bigger
Aluminum, yeah. So we're here at the Healey Museum in Vierland, Netherlands, which is in the region of Holland. Did I get that right?
It's in the Netherlands, Holland, in the middle of the Netherlands.
I've had a quick tour of your town, and it's beautiful. You have canals and lakes and boats and
bridges that all go open every 5 minutes.
That's wonderful, unless you're on the other side.
Yeah, that's it.
I have to introduce you. You're Hans van der Kerkhoff.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
That's right.
I've been working on it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And you're the founder of the Healey Museum, right?
Yes, I'm the founder and I'm the chairman of the foundation. And I'm the curator. So, but I serve the drinks, I clean the dustbin, I do everything together with my wife.
You do it all with your wife. That's
Yes.
excellent. How did the museum come about? How did it come about here in the Netherlands? What is it about the Netherlands that excites people about these British cars?
Holland is a classic car country. We have a lot of classic cars. We have a lot of huge collections, often hidden away, so not open to the public. I've been involved for a very long time in Healey's. My first Healey I owned in '68. And I've, well, not really collected, I just saved things. And if you save things long enough, you suddenly have a collection. It grew and it grew and it became more and it became more, and I ended up with about 14 Healeys, which was far too much. I have to start in the beginning.
Good place to start.
68, my first Healey. A doorman came to me and he said, I hear you sometimes talk about a Healey, I have one, do you want to buy it? And that was a 3000 Mark II-A.
Okay.
And, but I was only 18, so I said, well, how much do you want for the car? He said, 2,250 guilders. If you convert it now, around 1,000 euros. And it doesn't seem a lot now. But I only earned 65 guilders a week, so it still was a lot of money. But I managed to buy it. I sold my moped and my bicycle and my stamp collection and my everything to get money. So finally I was 18 years old and I had my first 3,000. I got involved in the Healey Club, became a member. For my birthday I got the membership of the Healey Club, and I stayed a member. But then you're doing the drives around the church, as we call them. But if you've done that for 10 years, you're fed up with it. You have done them all because the Netherlands is as big as a post stamp. So if you've done them for 10 years. So we went abroad, we went to England, and there I met Rinus Sinke. Rinus Sinke is a well-known Healey driver. He is also a rally driver. He won the Tulip Rally 3 times overall, which is a big thing. And we were sitting at the bar and he said, well, are you also fed up with all the... I said, yeah, oh, terrible. He said, that's why we're here in England, to expand our view. He said, well, why don't we start racing or rallying with the Healey? And of course the idea was born at the bar, and the more beer we had, the easier it became. And we built 3 race cars with 3 friends and we started racing. We started with the MG competition, then the next year we had our international license and we started racing all over Europe. Ended up in 3 times doing the Classic Le Mans. In 2012 I did it in 54 FAC, that's an ex-works Sebring car. And then I thought, I became older, we sold our business, so I said, well, now I've ended up at Le Mans in an ex-works car, what will be next? So
what's higher than that?
and I had done it for 20 years. So finito. I was in England again and somebody said to me, I said, Hans, how old are you now? Because I heard you sold your business. He said, what are you going to do with your collection? I said, well, I didn't realize I had a collection. I said, I have a lot of stuff, but in the early days it was really saving things and collecting things. When eBay came up, it became, on one hand, became much easier because everything was available. As long as you had a filled wallet, you could buy everything you wanted. but on the other hand, the market became much bigger. I came in contact with Bill Wood in the States, and he had a large part of the factory archive from Jeff Healey. And we started negotiating, and it took me almost a year to get it from him. So it became bigger, and then we have to do something with it. We sold our business. I had the idea we're going to start a museum. The first idea was mentioned in 2010. We had the yearly meeting in Germany, that was, and I thought, okay, we're going to do it. My neighbor was Cor van Zadelhoff. That's one of the biggest real estate people in the Netherlands, actually worldwide. And he said, well, Hans, I heard you sold your business. And I said, be careful, because people who stop working, they fall over, get a heart attack. Yeah, I know, but I'm not going to do it easy. I'm going to start a Healey Museum. And he said, oh, do you already have a building? Because real estate was his business. So that's why we ended up here in Vreeland.
Wonderful. Yeah, I imagine finding a location would be a
It was
huge
very
stumbling
difficult,
block.
very difficult, because originally I was looking for an old factory, but the problem, I think that's worldwide, not only in the Netherlands, is pollution. Asbest roofs, oil pollution, ground, so that was, couldn't succeed. And another thing was parking space.
Right.
Because if you go to we have a lot of parking space, eight cars. But that's not enough if you want to do car meetings.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen it yesterday. You need a lot of space to.
Yeah. Yesterday there was 20 Healeys in your
I
parking
haven't
lot. So
counted
I didn't
them.
count either,
No.
but it's the most Healeys I've seen in one spot ever. It was really a wonderful experience.
Now, to give you an idea, yesterday was a small event.
Small event. Yeah. I'm coming back for a big one.
We had once had a Sprite meeting over here, and then we had 80 Sprites over here.
Oh wow! Wow. Yesterday you explained a design decision to me that really changed the way I look at the BT7 I just finished. It's a 2+2.
Yes.
And you told me a story about the +2 that changed how I look at it. Could you share that with us again?
Yeah, well, the BN and the BT, the 2+2 and the 2, it was actually a thing that came up from America. In America, they said a 2-seater is a car for the rich people, and a 4-seater is more or less a family car. So for a 4-seater, you paid less import tax. But they forgot to mention the size of the seats in the law. So that's why, if you can get rid of tax, everybody get it very clever. So and that's why we see in the Porsches, the Aston Martins, the Ferraris, all the expensive cars, the 2+2. Everybody always says, what a ridiculous seats, you can't sit in them. But it was never meant to be. It was just a way to pay less import tax.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't make sense to me until you explained it.
Yeah.
And I think that says a lot about your museum and what you're carrying forward, the stories that get lost, and we end up just going, well, why did they do that?
Another thing he did, he made an agreement with the tax people that the GIs that were located in Germany could buy a car tax-free and could take it tax-free back home.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And
I knew there were a lot of servicemen that had bought Healey's.
Yeah, but they could buy it tax-free because they had an American passport, and they could take it tax-free home. So that's why a lot of early cars ended up in the States, because everybody bought one because it was cheap for them, and then they took it home.
Very cool. Design-wise, I think everybody agrees that the lines of the big Healey are just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Is there anything design-wise or engineering-wise on the Healeys that just makes you go, why did they do that?
They should have solved the problem of the ground clearance. And they tried to do that with the BN3, because we have what we call in Holland we call it an undersloom, so the chassis goes under the back axle,
Right.
and then the axle hits the chassis. With the BN3, they made a chassis which go over the back axle, so then you can put the car as high as you want. but they never did that, and I think, yeah, that was a big failure. They should have solved that problem. And another thing is the heat in the car, because you sit with your feet on the exhaust, with your leg against the gearbox tunnel, with your bottom on the exhaust. And a story, I don't know if it's true, but when Jeff did the first rides with the prototypes, he took Margot with him. And of course that was a right-hand drive car. And Jeff said, oh, I think we have to do something with the heat. And Margot was always cold, because she came from Italy and England was cold for her. She said, no, that's not a problem, it's okay. And later, of course, we found out that it was actually a bit hot.
That's a good story.
Yeah. But that's what they told me, but I'm not sure if it's correct. Really, a lot of people have stuff lying around which they don't know what to do with. The children will throw it away if they pass away. So if you have the chance and you're not want to hang on it till you fall over, donate it to the Healey Museum. That's a good place.
That's a good thing for all my viewers. If you have stuff laying around, sales photos or toy cars or
no chassis, no
chassis, no rusted chassis,
no,
no box of spare parts.
No, we're not a junkyard. not classic car magazines, because everybody has piles of classic car magazines.
My dad's, I still have a pile of.
The whole attic is full of magazines.
Yes. Is there anything else my viewers can do to help support your museum here?
Well, we have, we already support it. We have the worldwide club support. There's a sign in the museum which maybe you can later take a picture of, a shot of. So we're already supported by America, the Swedish club. They do a donation to the museum to help us survive. Next to that, we have what we call the Friends of the Museum, and that's what you experienced yesterday.
Very good friends too.
Once a year we have a day for volunteers and friends. That are people, they pay €100 a year, and then you can come. But if you live in this area, you're not going to come every week to pay €12 to visit the museum. So that's why we have the Friends, €100. You can come in as often as you want with 2 people. And yeah, that's what we call the Friends. So that's a big support for the existence of the Healey Museum. And next to that we have, of course, the meetings, club meetings, the yearly meetings. We rent out the museum for business meetings. We will have now, they have just arrived, a motorcycling club. They come and have a lunch. Next week we have the TVR club, MG club, Jaguar, BMW. On our website, which you can look, who visit the museum, and that's a lot of important company. The big advantage is that Healey is what we call a dead brand. It's no longer produced, so no car company has a problem by coming here to have a meeting.
That's a good point, yeah.
Because if you go to Laumann, for example, that's a brand. The history is a brand. Yeah. So BMW, Mercedes, they don't go. No, so, and that's our big advantage too. And then, of course, we have a start for a rally, a finish of a rally. That's why we make our living.
Good. Well, I hope my followers can help you out.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you the most difficult question. This is the Sophie's Choice question. What is your favorite car in the museum?
It completely depends on the event or where I'm going. As I told earlier, if we go on a holiday, I take the BJ8 because that's part of the family. It's a car which I love to drive. It's got a fully prepared Dennis Wells engine in it. I've done a lot on the heat, so that problem is solved. But for example, yesterday the BN2, that's a marvelous car to drive. The BN7, which is the rare bird, that's one of the 350 built, with a 2-seater hardtop on it, a tri-carb, a rebuilt engine, lovely car to drive. The black one is a Rudspeed, tri-carb, tuned, side exhaust, If you go in the mountains with the rut speed, it's exciting. The pearl in our museum is of course Donald Healey's private car.
That's the one that surprised me the most yesterday.
That's the S coupe. There were only 2 coupes built, and this is one of them. And Donald drove that car for more than 9 years, and he drove it from Perranport, where he lived, to Warwick every day. And that's a very special car.
We're gonna play a little game. We're going to, it's a lightning round. I'm gonna ask, I'm gonna say A or B, and you choose which one is the best for you.
I'm not a football player, but I know, or
you know
Formula One even.
Okay, so some of these might be controversial, but you know, pick your personal favorite. BN1 or BJ8?
BJ8.
Hardtop or cabriolet? It's hard, isn't it?
No.
First that comes to your mind.
A.
Hardtop. SU or Weber?
Weber.
Stock or custom?
Stock.
Concourse or driver?
Driver. For sure.
Good answer. Country road or racetrack?
That's a difficult one.
Racetrack. Racetrack, very good. Boot or trunk?
Boot.
Boot. Whitworth or UNF?
UNF.
Sprite or midget?
Sprite.
Easy one. Barn find or showroom floor?
Barn.
Painted wire wheels or chrome?
Painted.
Radio or engine noise?
Engine.
Straightaway or chicane?
Straightaway.
Straightaway. That's all. Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah.
Hard questions though, aren't they?
No, not. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult because I've been racing for 20 years, and when you put Webers on a Healey, it becomes a completely different car. And to give you an idea, 54 FAC we raced, and also the yellow one, which I later show you a picture of Le Mans. And then we're talking about a full prepared race engine with 300 brake horsepower and a top speed of 260 kilometers.
Wow.
So that's, and I'll show you later in a movie. But on the other end, Le Mans is a long straight, so the top speed is incredible.
Right.
Chicanes is more, if you go to Zandvoort, for example, then it's small and curvy, but it's so difficult. It's difficult. And you asked me BN1 or BJ8. The BN1 and 2 are far more fun to drive than a BJ8. The 6-cylinder engines are, I won't say too heavy in the front, but it's a completely different car. But a BJ8, the red one, which is in the museum now, I've done over 300,000 kilometers in that car.
300,000?
Yes.
Wow.
And this is my 3rd engine. I've done, rallied it in the beginning, and now I'm taking it easier. And that car has become a part of the family. So that's why I say BJ8. But to be honest, driving yesterday you enjoyed the BN2.
Very much.
It's more a car you can throw around.
Yeah.
And the BJ8 is more comfortable. It's you have the hood, so if you take it on holiday and it starts raining, you can close it easily. You have more luggage space. That was the difficult choices you had to make, and the hardtop and open. I have both. I have an open and I have a closed one with a hardtop. And strangely enough, people always think that with a hardtop it's more heat in the car, which isn't the case, because you don't have the sun on your head. And if you have to take the side screens out, it's actually more comfortable with a hardtop than an open car.
Interesting.
And of course the car becomes stiffer.
Yes, it would.
So it's also, that question was a mixed feeling.
Yeah.
But open, of course, you enjoy far more of the area you're driving through.
Right. Okay, I do want to talk about this car that's sitting behind us, not the Bug-Eye, this one.
Yes.
As you know, I'm working on a BN1 that's the heritage certificate says it was originally Coronet Cream.
Yes.
And originally, before I bought the car, there were pictures of what it could look like, and they actually had used a picture of this very car sitting in this gravel bed. So once I bought it, I was doing more research and went, there's a Healey Museum. It's not too far away. I gotta come here. What can you tell us about this car?
This is actually a very unique car. Before it came here, it only had 3 owners, or 2 owners with a 3rd owner. The first owner had it for 30 years. The second owner had it for 30 years. And now it's up here. It's an unrestored car. It still has the original carpet in it. The cylinder head was cracked, so we had to change that to an aluminium one. But that's actually the only thing that we changed.
So it's a true survivor car.
It's a real survivor, and it's a very early one. I think that everybody knows the story that in the beginning they were all aluminium, or aluminum they say in America, and they changed the wings and the doors in steel. But when the first few hundred cars, they also had, and you can see that with this car, if you maybe you can take it closer. The hood is very wrinkly, it's bubbled, and that comes because it has a steel inner frame and an aluminium skin plate.
Okay.
And if you put that in the sun, the extension of the 2 material is completely different.
Okay.
And then it goes bloop, 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 and after 3 or 4 times it stays. And that's why they changed the hood and the boot lid in steel completely.
My boot lid's aluminum with the steel underside.
That's also an early car, then, because the Coronet Creams were made in '53 for the coronation of Queen Elizabeth. So they were available in Coronet Cream with a blue interior or a red interior, those 2 combinations. This was, I got a message from America, from Great Jane, and she said, we had the car for 30 years and we're going to move to an easier apartment, and we only have parking space for 3 cars, and we have 4, so I have to get rid of one. And are you interested in the BN1? So that's why it came into the museum in 2012. So a very early car with original Dunlop wheels. I don't know if you know the difference between we call it replicas and the original ones. In an original one, the inner circle is far more flat than on the new ones. If you have the original one, put new spokes in. Try to keep that. Yeah. You also have probably the original tag on the inside, in the boot lid. The plastic plate with all the numbers.
No, I think I'm missing that.
You can see that. Well, I'll show you later. It's unrestored, as I said. It's very original.
That's even better, really. Because my car is in such a state I need to have a reference. Yeah. And this is.
Yeah, you won't find a better one than this.
Reference than this.
You can see on top of the door, because it has been resprayed once in '61.
Okay.
And you can see on top of the doors, it's completely worn through by leaning out the arm. And there you can see the original color.
Oh, that's original?
It was an extra from Hamburg. It's got the original full glass side screens. You ever seen those?
No. I've only seen the plasticky one.
Oh wow! That's beautiful. Only the very early cars had that. The problem was, if you had these on, and you had the hood on, and you close the door, how do you get in?
Because it doesn't have the door handles. Yes.
So you have to undo your hood to get into the car. And that's why the lady had to.
That's yeah.
Very expensive.
I imagine. Wow. And these switches are
all added by the first owner.
Okay.
I have a whole file of this car. I'll show it to you. This is the import paperwork. These are all the
This is the American
title.
This is the original invoice.
Oh wow, Jaguar, Cleveland.
Yeah.
$3,182.40.
But he made a deposit on it.
Well,
Original warranty paper.
that's neat.
Uh,
Probably can't bring it in for warranty anymore.
No. This is he financed the car, so the finance papers. He wrote a letter to the Donald Healey company. He said, I only have 3 gears, but they told me originally it had 4 gears. He got a letter back with a drawing from the Healey Motor Company, and they said, if you machine this knockoff, you have 4 gears again. So that car has 4 gears.
So they did it.
They did it, but it's completely useless. All the papers are with the car, even the hand manual for the grease
How
gun.
to use the grease gun.
The envelope where we got the invoice in, the business cards from the guy he bought it from. He became a member of the Healey Drivers Club. What I wanted to show you was, here you have the different side screens. That's the one
That's the last
came with the car. And this is the original advert from Harco for the exhaust.
Wow. Very.
Here you won't get it more complete. than this.
No, that's wonderful. I wish all the Healeys came with
Yeah.
a binder full of stuff like that.
Well, you have a beautiful museum. I've just been smiling ear to ear since I've gotten here, blown away by all the fabulous cars and the details and the engines around and plus the atmosphere. The friends you had here yesterday were incredibly friendly and warm and welcoming, and you took me for a drive, and another one of your friends took my wife for a drive because she was just waiting for us to come back.
Yeah.
And that it speaks a lot about the Netherlands, and I feel very welcome here.
Well, that's why we also call, it's mentioned on our website, a Healey Museum, a museum with a passion. And that says everything.
If you want to come along on the ride as we complete this project, click the subscribe button. If you want YouTube to tell you every time there's a new video, click the alarm bell. Thanks for watching, and your support is very much appreciated.